It's a medieval monster, 5 stories high and so new, the wood smells freshly cut.
We have to test every single part.
It's the largest trebuchet in continental Europe. Today, Michael Fuchs and his club, the Outlaw Dogs, are going to fire it for the very first time.
Today is very important because we have to see how it shoots.
Michael needs to make sure this trebuchet shoots accurately and safely. Once a year, they put on a festival and stage a battle with siege weapons that can do real damage. On festival day, the crowds are just a stone's throw from the target. So before every festival, they test their weapons to make sure their projectiles hit the mark and not the spectators. Their old trebuchet was 4 stories high and a proven performer. When they discovered the wood was rotting, they scrapped it and built a bigger one. With the festival only a few weeks away, the pressure is on.
Very important that we hit the target absolutely in the middle, because upside there, all around, there are hundreds of people.
The distance is 136 meters, 446 feet. To fire that far, they use a counterweight that weighs as much as an elephant. If the shot lands short, they'll add more sandbags.
We have 2 treadmills to use the human power to remove the arm back down. If the arm comes down, the ratchet is working and it's locking the arm, so it's safe for all people here.
As the human hamsters do their job, Michael makes sure all the bolts are holding. He locks the arm down with the trigger.
There are 6 tons on this point. Next step will be reloading the stone.
The stone weighs 75 kilograms, 165 pounds. They carefully position it in the very center of the sling and check that the ropes are straight. If they're not, the sling could twist in the air and snag the stone. Then, the sling ropes are connected to the arm. One end of the rope hangs on a peg that'll release it at just the right angle for maximum range.
All good. We're ready to shoot.
They clear the firing range.
3, 2, 1, fire!
The stone flies straight and lands slightly more than 2/3 of the way to the target. It's not bad for a first shot. In this test for predictability, the stone lands just 2 steps from the first shot. That's good.
Now we're using another stone, which is 10 kilograms lighter. And now I think the 3rd shot is hitting the target. So alle guten Dinge sind 3 in German. In English is 3 times the charm.
Fire!
But this 3rd time, there's no charm. They're still well short of the target.
We got, I think, 25 meters to the target. So we have to load more sandbags.
Fire!
With the old trebuchet, it took them 2 weeks of trying to hit the target. This machine is already almost there.
Absolutely the middle. Wonderful. Little more load in the counterweight, and then we hit it.
The next shot bounces into the target. Not good enough for Michael. He needs a bullseye to prove the trebuchet is safe. So, they add a little bit of grease to the axle. And then, a hit. It's a little low, but it's centered.
1 drop of grease, and this is 15 meters.
To make their bullseye spectacular, they wrap the stone in cloth, douse it with a flammable cocktail, and light it.
Fire!
The shot does not disappoint.
Have you heard about the newest sport sweeping across the land? It's called Punkin, Chunkin, and I'm its new biggest fan.
a bone-chilling November morning near the Delaware seashore, massive cannons and catapults are being assembled as if the nation was preparing for battle.
Fire in the hole, fire in the hole.
But this arsenal won't be used to combat enemy raiders or for historic war reenactments. These weapons are being made exclusively for throwing pumpkins.
Well, this is the Second Amendment, and this is absolutely the baddest pumpkin gun on the planet.
The Punkin Chunkin Festival was started 20 years ago near Millsboro, Delaware, with 3 slingshot-style machines shooting pumpkins in someone's backyard. Little did the founders know that this first event would inspire a veritable arms race. Today, 100 teams are stationed on the front line, preparing to see how far their self-designed weapons can launch a pumpkin across a 280-acre cornfield.
In 1986, there were 4 guys sitting around the local blacksmith shop discussing medieval games, specifically anvil tossing. They rapidly found out that was rough on the back and shoulders, so they decided they could build a machine to throw it. Anvils were expensive, they bought pumpkins, and here we are 21 years later throwing pumpkins at the World Championship Punkin Chunkin.
The machines range from high school physics projects made from junkyard scraps to high-tech blasters that can cost upwards of $200,000. Although explosives are forbidden across the board, many of these machines still pack quite a punch. Because of the wide variety of contraptions, the competition is divided into different classes.
What we consider the big boys of the competition are the air cannons. Of course, all those guys are looking for what we refer to as the mythical mile.
The air cannons work by sending a rush of compressed air into the barrel, which rockets the pumpkin out the other end. These cannons can launch pumpkins over 4,000 feet, about the length of 11 football fields. And this year, current record holder Second Amendment is gunning for the mile mark at 5,280 feet.
Current world record is 4,434 feet. In practice last weekend, we shot one over 5,000 feet.
Another team going for gold today is Team Chucky, a team that will be competing in the torsion catapult division.
Torsion catapult is what most people think of when they think of like an old-fashioned Roman catapult. And what it is, there's a bundle of rope that gets twisted, and tension gets put into it, and so the rope becomes a torsion spring. And it's that tension stored in the bundle of twisted rope that makes the arm go forward.
Hole, fire in the hole.
I started when I was 6, so that was a really long time ago, about 9 years. We saw it on the Discovery Channel, and I really wanted to join, so we started building smaller models. This machine and all this competition is really showing me a lot of fun about engineering. So the way this machine works is the pumpkin is going to be in a sling here at the bottom. We've got counterweights up here, and so when we fire this machine, gravity is going to pull this thing down as close as it can to the ground. That pumpkin is going to be on that arm, and it's going to go way up here, and then that sling is going to release that pumpkin into the air, and it's going to fly as far as it can. But this stuff has definitely shown me how much potential engineering has for me, what I can do there.